Hey, everybody, how you doing? It's No. I almost did that. I almost did it again. Oh, it's Wednesday. Hump day! And welcome to the show. It's Woke Wednesday, a new feature we have on the Morning Night Live. I have a few stories that are related to what I would call Woke Wednesday. And we'll get into the happenings of the day. We'll probably search through a little Twitter and talk about the race in Georgia, what's going on in Washington, D.C., in some aspects. I think I'm going to spend more time on the Washington stuff tomorrow because it's happening, well, kind of right now. So I could either put that on or I could talk about what I was going to talk about and give the roundup tomorrow. So I think I'm going to stick to giving the roundup tomorrow. Anyway, I hope you're having a great morning. Let's play the intro and get this thing started. Ladies and gentlemen, coming to you live from the Lucky Dog studio in a hidden location somewhere in the upper Midwest of the United States of America, it's a brother making his own way, but with all the wrong opinions. Welcome to the Morning Night Live with your host, yours truly, PDawg Knight. And stop the music. Good morning, everybody. Welcome to the Morning Night Live. I am your host, Marty, also known as Dawg Knight on the internet, and welcome back to the Dawg Knight Channel. It's Wednesday, the 6th of January, 2021. I love saying that. And welcome to the show. Now, as you know, I was going to try a new feature called Woke Wednesdays, where we're going to just look at some of those kinds of stories that make you go, who is this nutcase? In some ways, and some of it's just talking about different things that are related to the culture, the culture wars and all that shit. But we also have a lot of news happening in D.C. and Georgia and all those places where we seem to have a disappointing result at best in Georgia. It's looking like Mr. Warnock and Mr. Ossoff have defeated Purdue, and I'm having such a hard time with the other one because why I'm blanking on her name, I don't know. Maybe because yesterday I was going through Twitter and someone called her the Walmart version of Ivanka Trump. And I can't get it out of my head. And oh my God. Thanks for nothing, Mitch. Yeah, I hear you there. We've got our first donation of the day already. Thank you, Gamer Valine. Oh shoot, where's my stuff? Well, good thing I noticed that. So hang on a second here, because we're going into boomer vision again, because sometimes I just forget to do some things. But anyway, Gamer Valine, you are the new Streamlabs Superstar Donor of the Day. Putting up a 556, which I'm pretty sure people are stocking up on 556s right now. Who says, morning all from Gamer Valine. I'll be lurking about while I appropriate some culture and make some Japanese curry. I now wait with bated breath on new gun legislation. Yeah, that 556, like I said, you might be want to stock it up on those and 223s and also the actual weapons. You might it'd be a good time to go out, and if you're thinking about buying weapons, buy them now, and then perhaps certain types you might want to go out on the boat and lose them in the lake, so to speak. Anyway, thank you so much, Gamer Valine. I appreciate it. Kelly, whatever the hell her name is, that's who I'm trying to think of. But anyway, and the fascinating thing our friend JJ Sefton. Oh, puts it best. Although it's not official, the 2 seats in the Senate seats in Georgia are about to be stolen. Kind of, yet again, and as I have no doubt, had the presidential election not been stolen from us 9 weeks ago, those 2 seats would have been clearly won that night as well. And just like 9 weeks ago, the vote counting has been stopped for the night in Chatham County, which I believe includes the city of Savannah, where our friend Jane Doe lives. No doubt she is either in a drunken stupor or tearing her hair out, while no doubt pallets of clean, crisp ballots are being trucked in, all neatly checked off in the names of Ossoff and Warnock. Anyway, who's to blame for this? Along with what happened on election day, or put another way, which is worse, the enemy who with malice aforethought rigged the election with the indirect help of the communist Chinese via a biological psychological weapon in the form of a virus as a pretext to allow mass ballot dumping. Or how about the Republican Party that did nothing to stop them before, during, and after the fact, and then screamed bloody murder at anyone who complained? Because the Republican Party of Georgia hasn't been helpful, particularly the governor and the Secretary of State. There should have been a full ballot audit. We all know that, but I don't know if this is optimism or just me being cynical by saying it is what it is now, and we'll see what happens today in the halls of Congress, where I think there are plenty of people who are going to object to the some of the electors that are being voted on. But he continued here, whatever happens with this fiasco, and then another potential fiasco in Congress starting today, with at least some decent souls standing up and objecting to the Electoral College results, America as we know it and loved it, or at least perceived it, is gone. Now, am I that broken up as our friend JJ here is? I'm just reading it. I'm not putting it on the screen, but he posted a clip from an interesting article from the American Thinker, and I'll actually, let me put that on the screen because it's just a clip from the article here. As soon as I can just move it over a little bit. By the way, I'm going to say hi this morning, but so this is from just an excerpt from the American Thinker. If you want to destroy the USA, how would you do it? America will never be destroyed from the outside, said Abraham Lincoln. If we falter and lose our freedoms, it will be because we destroyed ourselves. Soviet Premier Nikita Khrushchev said the same thing in 1961. We do not have to destroy America with missiles, he said. America will destroy itself from within. Were they correct? Well, in February 2019, astute Canadian psychologist, everyone knows his name, Jordan Peterson, made this observation. The political debate between the right and the left seems to be moving forward in a manner that indicates the fundamental robustness of the institutions of democracy in the United States. Peterson's observation is no longer accurate. Our democratic institutions are anything but robust. The political debate is flirting with civil war as progressives in Congress and on social media gang up to censor conservative viewpoints. Citizens have no confidence in their elected representatives, the legal system, the media, or each other. Public officials encourage disrespect for the laws they are sworn to defend. Our cities are being torn apart with rioting, looting, and arson as mayors and governors encourage the breakdown of civil order. What kind of a nation are we bequeathing to our children? Unless we wake up soon, it won't be pretty. Perhaps Aldous Huxley, author of Brave New World, was correct when he predicted a dictatorship without tears, a kind of painless concentration camp so people will have their liberties taken away from them, but will rather enjoy it because they will be distracted from any desire to rebel by propaganda and brainwashing. Kind of reminds me of COVID rules. How about you? And then last night, the proprietor of this particular blog site declared, now that the polls are closed, I can say without actually harming the chances of Republicans winning. I don't care who wins. I am no longer a Republican. I will not care about this shitbag party until it competes for my vote. And yes, I'm now at the point where I wouldn't mind seeing a complete complete Democrat control for 12 years until the cucks are made to understand that I can defect too. Interesting. That's an interesting way to put it. You know, and also as I'm watching this morning, I'm watching Twitter. There's more to that, but I'm going to skip it for now. As I'm looking on Twitter today, Puerto Rico is trending, as well as Washington, D.C., as all these people are ready to demand that we make Washington, D.C. a state. And perhaps Puerto Rico a state, because they want to permanently shift the power to Democrats by hoping that those two new states would automatically be putting Democrat senators in there, which, you know, now obviously DC, being very liberal as it is, probably would have Democratic senators, and Puerto Rico, I don't know. Puerto Rico goes back and forth just like every other part of the country. Now, the fascinating thing about that, though, the idea of making Washington, D.C. a state, unlike admitting another state like Puerto Rico, making Washington, D.C. a state would require an amendment to the Constitution, amendment to the Constitution. I don't know that could happen. I just don't know if they would be able to get that through. So it'll be interesting to see what happens. Also, the fact that if Ossoff and Warnock, or whatever their names are, if they haven't officially won, they're still the one race. They're still saying it's too close to call. They're still counting. And, oh, by the way, the other thing that happened in Georgia, of course, okay, during the election in Georgia yesterday, 3 of the more Republican-leaning counties had problems with their voting machines. Shocker! They had problems with their voting machines where the people who voted, when they were trying to feed them into the machine or whatever, they weren't taking them. So they had to put all those votes aside and said, oh, no, we'll run them through the machines later when we get the problem fixed. Oh, shocker. And then also they had a point where they stopped counting, just like during the presidential election. And look, the vote totals, as I was looking at them, like out of both candidates in the one race had like 1,900,000 some votes. I mean, they were 1,000 votes apart out of over almost 4 million votes. So any little anomaly in the voting system could cause an issue. Now, at some point, and one of the races was about 16,000 votes apart this morning. So I don't know. But right now, both the Democrats are projected to win. There is a little twist, though. There is a possibility, and it's a small one. But Joe Manchin, if you're familiar with him, he's a senator from West Virginia, Democrat, in a very red state otherwise. And he's been one of those. He's the kind of that borderline borderline Democrat who often votes with Republicans on things. There was some talk of the possibility of him changing from being a Democrat to becoming an independent and caucusing with the Republicans. Now, it just depends how far out on the crazy train Democrats are planning to get, because Ossoff and Warnock they're out there lefties. It's shocking that these guys won Georgia. That should be, a lot of people want to blame President Trump. I actually, Kelly Loeffler and David Perdue, I think, made a tactical mistake when they saw what was happening with the Georgia votes, with the election on November 3rd, and all I can't. Oh man, I don't want to get in trouble with YouTube, but just all the shenanigans, right? The shenanigans, and they did not immediately come out and say, you know what, hey, we see these shenanigans, we see all the evidence, we see all the witnesses, we see all these problems. They didn't really get on board with that as far as supporting the president. And I think the president's pretty popular in Georgia, at least with the Republicans. Well, let's put it this way. Donald Trump's support among Republicans was above 90%. Okay, that's unheard of. Even, in-party, popularity above 90%. So the fact that they didn't immediately join that chorus of, hey, we need to make these guys, because look, if those ballots in Georgia, let's say there were shenanigans. Now, I'm not even definitively saying there were or weren't, but there's been plenty of witness testimony that says there were. There's been plenty of evidence. There's plenty of statistical anomaly in Georgia to say that there were. And the whole, let's stop because of a water pipe leak, and then all of a sudden they come in with a couple 100,000 votes, all for Joe Biden or whatever it was. Well, I have to imagine that had that not happened, let's say this was a legitimate vote in Georgia, there wouldn't have been a runoff in Georgia. See, because Georgia, for whatever reason, when they vote for their senators, you have to have over 50% of the vote total. And then the reason there was a runoff is because the candidates that were in the lead, Perdue and Loeffler, were in the lead in Georgia. They had a plurality, but they didn't have a majority of the votes. That's why there was a runoff. If there were no shenanigans in Georgia regarding the Trump votes, would Loeffler and Perdue have had a majority and not had to have had this runoff? So that's another question. It's just one of those things. Now, and I laugh because as I'm going through Twitter, I saw this. This old Time cover from, let's see, what's the date on this? Looks like that. Hang on a second here. May 18th, 2009. I still have a little hack here going. May 18th, 2009. Cover of Time magazine. Hang on. Let me size this so it fits the screen. May 18th, 2009, cover Time magazine. Excuse me. Endangered species. How Republicans lost their way. How they can come back. Now, I'm laughing because where it says how they lost their way, I don't know who this guy is, Michael Grunwald, but how they can come back, written by Joe Scarborough. It's hilarious. Anyway, I found the other thing someone pointed out too in the upper left-hand corner of this Time magazine cover. The flu scare, how to stop the next pandemic. Oh, I'd like to go back and read that article and see what they think. But and again, every time one party or the other has a good year, they begin writing obituaries for the other party, right? Well, we've been through this before, and I don't know. Now, it's going to be interesting to see how much damage Democrats can do in these 2 years. Are they going to learn from the last time when Barack Obama had all three branches, even albeit by the hair of his chinny chin chin? Or Or when did or does or even Trump's first 2 years when the Republicans really blew it on the wall stuff. Are Democrats going to be, how much damage are Democrats going to do? I don't think that they're going to get any good vote on Puerto Rico or Washington, D.C. I don't think in the Senate particularly, I don't think Dianne Feinstein will vote for it. I don't think Joe Manchin will vote for it. I don't think the guy is Tester still out of Montana or is he done? I can't remember. But I don't, there's enough senators, I think, on the Democratic side who aren't going to go for that. And also the Supreme Court thing. I think Maddie, was it you who wrote that? Or somebody who wrote that they're not going to, the Senate packing thing. Joe Manchin has already said he's not going to do it. I don't think there's a few Democratic senators who are like, no, we're not going to pack the courts. We're not going to add more justices. And in fact, why would they? They already have John Roberts. I mean, I don't know. Anyway, okay, I'm a little bit overdue for saying good morning to everybody. So let's say good morning real quick. Now, Maddie was here first, and when I reset my chat, hers didn't show up. But Maddie, you get the bell because you were here first. Plus, thank you so much for putting for tweeting out the show this morning, as you always do. I greatly appreciate you for always doing that. Also, I'll thank Cindy Rochelle, Tyler F., and Cynical Lindsay for retweeting or tweeting out the show. It's so greatly appreciated. I don't think YouTube promotes or recommends my channel at all because I just haven't had any growth. So I don't know how that is. It just is what it is. But anyway, also real quick, thank you, Rod Line, who says, well, that's great. That's just fucking great, man. Now what the fuck are we supposed to do? We're in some real pretty shit now, man. That's it, man. Game over, man. Game over. Oh, classic line. I can't remember what damn movie that's from. But and God, what's that actor's name too? Someone will put it in the chat, but I'm saying hi. Also, thank you, Gunfox61, for the Streamlabs donation. Also, Rod Lines was through Streamlabs, which is in the description down below, or it pops up in the chat. Huge drama breaks out in Pennsylvania Senate. UK police demanding the power to forcefully enter homes suspected breaking China virus laws. ATC controllers reported a plane threatening to fly into D.C. meeting place with Biden and Congress. Ew. For the killing of Iran General, what's his name? Soleimani, I suppose. Wow. Okay, that's not good. I guess that's some breaking news. Thank you, Gunfox61, also for the donation. I appreciate that. I guess there'll be a lot of news tomorrow. Yeah, the Pennsylvania Senate, 8 senators. What is it, the 8 senators demanding? Let's see. Hang on a second. Because I saw that story this morning. Well, here, let me finish saying good morning to everybody yet. Thank you again. Good morning, Tyler F., Stabbin' Joe Scarborough, Gunfox61, my Discord administrator, and news hound extraordinaire. Also, good morning, Special K on Acid, Grillin' Pirate Pete, Zach Osborne, how you doing? Advocatus Diabli, the Devil's Advocate, Mike Savage, Blarg. Good morning, Rusty Shack. Pac-Man disjoints his hip bones to allow... Ooh. I don't need to hear that, Rusty. I'm not even going to finish that. Also, good morning, Selective Boy. Yeah, boy. Also, good morning, damn it, Chadwick, a.k.a. Chadwick Dupree. Joe Biden's in the house, a.k.a.
Come on, man.
Uncle Bad Touch. Good morning also to Maniac Man, Cindy Rochelle, Afin Macy, or Effin Macy, and John Arnott, how you doing? Cynical Lindsay, what's up? Good morning. Also, Attack Alpacas in the Hizzo. Hi, hello, PDawg in chat. Also, who else is here? Kyra Alexander, what's up? Trump is a total travesty at this point. I have issues with Trump on a couple things. also this morning. Took a winning movement and put it in the swamp. And yes, and I can absolutely agree with you in some ways there. There's some certain things that as I've been thinking about and talking about and listening to other people talk about, I'm like, there's some things that, well, anyway, I'll get back to it. Also, good morning. I said John Arnott already. Also, let's see. Anna Lynn's in the house. Good morning. Katie did skate. How you doing? Mr. No. How am I doing today? I'm doing well. I still have that cough, but I do have a little tea with honey and lemon that's helped me stave it off a little bit. Let's see. Who else is here? I think I'm getting down to close to everybody who's here. Let's see. I said Mike Savage already. Try Deos. Good morning. Oh, you're at work, but well, thanks for listening while you're working. Whistle while you work. Anyway, my whistling is terrible. I haven't whistled. I can't remember the last time I whistled. That was weird. Anyway, I think that's just about everybody. Fox P2's in the house. I see you there. K Shull, how you doing? And that's it, because I'm down at the bottom of the chat. All right. And also, if you're working, lurking, watch it on replay or whatever. Good morning, Chicago Mike. Also, you're a ridiculous lunatic. Nice to see you. And I'm sorry, that wasn't commentary. There's Chicago Mike and new person, you're a ridiculous lunatic, and Donatella Slapafellow's in the house. So there you go. All right. What the hell was I just talking about? Oh, Trump. And Rod Line. Did I say hi to Rod Line? I don't know. I think I already did now. Bill Paxton. Yes, Bill Paxton from Aliens. Yeah. I love that. That's it, man. Game over, man. Game over. All right. So, interesting point you brought up there, Cairo. And I have to concur in some ways. MC's in the house too.
Hammer time.
I think the thing with, for example, with the lockdowns we're experiencing around the country, I think with the whole virus thing, the whole China virus thing, Trump kind of got roped into. I know that with, we've had to inform the public, and I think what happened is Trump blinked a little bit on that and took by taking the advice of the committee that he put together. I think went against his own instincts. And so when, he's the one who allowed the states and recommended through his committee, the states go into these lockdowns. And I think if we had followed our Constitution a little more, rather than the emergency dictates from bureaucrats, I think our country would be a little bit better off. Now, would there be more deaths? Would there be less deaths? It's hard to tell, because when you look at states with lots of restrictions and you look at states with few restrictions, there's not really per capita a big difference in what's happening in those states. And in fact, some of the states with the most restrictions have the most problems per capita, not just number of cases or, raw numbers, but per capita. So, who was it I was listening to this morning? It might have been Anomaly, the rapper guy. Saying, the reason Sweden one of the reasons Sweden didn't have major lockdowns is because their constitution didn't allow it. Well, ours kind of doesn't either. You kind of have to have some legislative actions, even under emergency situations. And we've allowed different governors of different states basically become dictators in their own states. Yeah, less deaths from suicide, overdose, cancer. Well, there's more. Yeah. I just think, look, I voted for Trump this time, which I didn't last time, because of the policies that he got implemented in his first years, that he said that he campaigned on, and he did, and they worked. So, for example, and also just some things he did that had no, he didn't have to do. For example, his first meeting with anybody was with the HBCUs and funded them fully, or gave them funding and made it permanent over 10 years so they wouldn't have to keep coming back. That was just one of those things where I'm going, clearly that was not it was not a demographic that was highly supportive of him, and yet on principle he decided that he said, what's one thing that can help people not be dependent on government? Well, education. And so he went and did that, right? Didn't have to do that. And even the prison reform thing. Now, that was something being pushed mostly by demographics that, again, are not big supporters of his, but he did it anyway because he thought it was right. But also on things like some of the deregulation. He won a lot of victories in the trade areas. For example, everyone really got on his case about the tariffs, but they adjusted once he won those battles. The fact that during his term, for the first time in many years, the economy was booming because they got rid of some stupid regulations. They streamlined some things. They did, and tax reform for not just the rich. They always say, oh, it's just the rich that got tax reform, but everyone got a tax break who paid taxes, and there was actual rise in real wages that wasn't happening for years. Didn't happen during the Obama years. Everyone's complaining about that, and they think, oh no, we got to take some more money from the rich. Well, no, let people earn more money, and some of those regulations allowed businesses to do that. So there was actual raise in wages. There's a lot of factors why I voted for Trump this time, where I wouldn't have voted for Biden because the things he was saying, well, his things were incoherent anyway. But is Trump a magic man? No, not perfect. And I still, I love the fact that he, fought with the media, but I also, because the media sucks, and the media basically, except for a couple outlets and some online outlets, but the mainstream, Mockingbird media, basically became a partisan venture. It was just anything that they could do to make Trump look bad and not ever acknowledge things he did right and things that were going well. They became talk about election interference between the media and some of the big, social media outlets. They all just played their hand and just proved that everything that we used to say about the media, yeah, they're just partisan hacks, and they proved it. They almost glorify themselves being partisan hacks. And so, that's one thing that Trump exposed big time. Real quick. Thank you again, Gamer Valine. Wait, let me see here. What am I doing here? Thank you again, Gamer Valine. And you are...
Here are some results from a search.
What the hell? Shut up. That's my phone doing shit that I don't want it to do. Anyway, Thank you, Gamer Vleen, with another 556, who says, I don't care who has it. I care about the death rate. Arizona is supposedly the worst in the world. We are extremely open compared to our Western neighbor. The deaths to new cases are about 2% on the highest days of deaths recorded. I don't care. Wait a minute. I maybe understand that Arizona is supposedly the worst in the world. How? Who says that Arizona is supposedly the worst in the world? And again, cases mean nothing. I'm a case, and I'm still here talking to you. There's a whole lot more of me than people in the ground. The cases, nobody cares. Also, thank you, Hig 1966, and also good morning. Also, Spidey Man, good morning. Hig 1966 was a 762. And don't forget the stock market up on stock up on holy caliber 762 NATO, the best for ending those dangerous Capitol Hill or blue-hatted creepers in Minecraft. Do I need to put a new 762 caliber? I saw someone said something about a 45 too. We'll figure those out too. Anyway, let's see. Scribe, Dawg Knight. Nice to see you, my friend. So anyway, but as far as Trump, has he? I think I don't know how Trump would have. I don't know how Trump would have fought this better. We're going to see today what happens. Again, we're going to see what happens today in Congress. I don't know that there's any trick up the sleeve that can happen. I mean, so the senators and congressmen are going to do their objections. They're going to have the debate. Some people are just expecting this to be a big shit show. I don't know. I was kind of black-pilled on this whole thing, and from ever since the election happened, and ever since all these people were testifying testifying to the shenanigans in all these different states. So I don't know. And also, good point, Cairo. He completely lost the agenda to our enemies from choices he makes. The one thing that I think he failed on in particular in this election cycle is he forgot that he won because of things he said he was going to do. And in this particular campaign cycle, he spent most of it complaining about others and what they're doing rather than coming in with his agenda. Now, I think if he'd have come in and said, okay, one of the big things on our agenda is to finish this wall. Okay, one of the things on our agenda is to help people who are suffering and try to get the rebuilding of businesses that have been either destroyed or hindered because of the fact that we had this vaccine policy in different states. And I think having a message of reopening America, which he kind of did that, but I think he needed to. I think he needed to really emphasize that. Also, and I see, Cairo, you're just giving me all kinds of things. Fauci, Trump choice, Barr, Sessions. I think that the Justice Department failed as far as their investigations. I think they needed to tell us something at least, or have something happen. Hello, Shimu. I didn't see you there. His agenda was foiled by resistance. No, his agenda was foiled by him talking about resistance, talking about the media, rather than, again, Trump came in the first time. He's going to build a wall. He was going to end stupid trade deals. He was going to, I don't know, there's a number of things he said he's going to do. He didn't do that this time. He complained all the time this time. Good morning, Thomas Cleaver. But again, this is not where I was going to go today. I still have all these articles I haven't even looked at yet. I don't know. I just, unless suddenly today with this objection, all these legislatures actually do something that regarding their audits. I think the one thing the vice president has, I saw the article. Thanks, Gamer Valine. I think the one, if there's a way, because apparently the vice president can create some sort of pause. I don't know what a delay, or they can delay the electoral college certification for a certain amount of time, and force a forensic audit. Okay, no, it's not going to happen. But this is just me in dreamland right here. Force a forensic audit in these states, and and like I said yesterday, if there were a forensic audit and it turns out that Joe Biden won by one vote in every one of these states, but it was a real forensic audit, then I'd be like, okay, so be it. Joe Biden is president. No asterisk. But right now, Joe Biden has a big asterisk in my mind, and most people who voted for Donald Trump's mind. Okay? Because they refuse to do these forensic audits. So I don't know. Good morning, Uncle Bobbity, by the way. He relied on Republicans to do the jobs, enforce the law. They did not. Raffensperger, Georgia, straight up allowed cheating to happen and stonewalled the president's attempts to investigate. I don't understand with Kemp and Raffensperger why they didn't order a full forensic audit. They did. Now they said they did some recounts in Georgia, but none of it was an actual forensic audit going in and looking at ballots. And there is some reports, and I don't know. I still have never noticed how accurate these reports are, but there's still some. They're saying that they were already destroying ballots after the election in Georgia. They're trying to hide the evidence. I don't know how accurate that is. In federal elections, they're required to keep all the materials, ballots, etc., for 2.5 years. So at some point, even if they haven't done it now, outside groups can come in after an election and do a complete audit of all the ballots at any given state. Now that happened in Florida in 2000, after the Al Gore, George Bush fiasco. And it's funny because I think when they were doing the recounts in Florida, and Al Gore demanded only recounts in Democratic strong counties, right? And then they said they were going to do it statewide, and then the Supreme Court kind of ended it. But in every ballot recount in Florida, every way they did it, George Bush still won, except for one. And I think that was it was an audit post fact. And I think that there were more than one group that did it, but one group ended up saying that Al Gore won. One group said that George Bush won. But anyway, the point is that ballots just kept 2.5 years, and any outside group can request to go in and do a full major audit of the ballots. Now, if there were printed ballots, and there's a couple, like the guy who testified in, I think it was either in Pennsylvania or Georgia, he's an expert on this shit. And you can tell if a printed ballot has been, as in they printed a bunch of ballots with already filled out. You can tell, it's easy to tell whether the printed ballots, the difference between printed ballots and people who actually voted on those ballots. You can easily tell different kinds of paper. You can easily tell how people filled in ballots and whatnot. That would be the full forensic audit that I'm talking about. But I don't know. Oh, it's not open mic day. What the hell am I doing? Sorry if I hope no one's waiting on open mic, because it is not. Let me fix that real quick. Just a second here, CloudBot. Let me turn that off. I hope no one was waiting, because it's not open mic day. Sorry about that. All right. Holy shit. Let's see. It's all about getting the person that they don't control out of office and getting another selected deep state puppet back in office. These and ours exist to keep the idiots who vote in line. Yeah, I'm not. Oh my God. I'm not thrilled with the Democrats or the Republicans, especially the ones who are just comfortable. They want to be comfortable. They don't really care if they're in power. They don't care if they're in the majority or the minority. They're just comfortable being in power. And the one thing I do appreciate about Trump is he's an outsider that just didn't give a shit about all that formality stuff, you know? He wanted to get things done, and he tried to do it in the right way. I laugh every time somebody calls Trump a dictator or the next funny guy with a funny mustache or shit like that, because he always did things in a procedural or legal way. They always found a legal way to do what they wanted to do, even when now, I'm not a fan of executive orders, but most of his executive orders were killing other executive orders. So I'm fine with that. But I don't know. If anything turned up that altered the results, even if it didn't change the winner, they still lose, since they were the ones charged with keeping the election fair in the first place. Well, yeah, if you're talking about the Georgia Secretary of State, yeah, they're just stupid. All right. I obviously wandered way off topic today, but it is Woke Wednesday, and I do need to get caught up on the Woke Wednesday stuff. And the title of the show today, I don't know if this is some Woke Wednesday shit, but this is just funny to me, and we need to have some entertainment, because right now I'm just floundering here. So let's do this. Let's get into the topic today, because the name of the stream today is Going Off the Rails. Finish that sentence. I'm gonna even wait. I'm sure you'll get it in the chat. But there is by the way, before I continue, thank you for all of you who are here. There's a lot of people here today. If you like what we're doing, hit the like button. Even if good morning, Pat, how you doing? Hit the like button, which is that thumbs up right below here, except for Duck Dog. If you're here, you know what to do. And then also, please share the stream out. A lot of you have already done it. Again, thank you again to Cindy Rochelle, Tyler F., Cynical Lindsay, Maddie, for doing that already. It really helps, because news and commentary channels don't get promoted by YouTube anymore. So I'm pretty sure my growth has ended completely. Like, I haven't seen it. I've seen a few new people, but whatever. Oh, hello, Willie 1776 and Ricky Riavioli too. And Uncle Bobbity. Okay, so and then if you want to do donations to the channel, you can do that through Super Chat or Streamlabs below, or it's all in the description down below if you want to do that. I greatly appreciate it. I know it's not easy for everybody. And good morning, Will at Forge. Drop a pile of ballots on the like button. You know, maybe I should use Dominion voting machines for my like buttons, and then I could have multiple likes just for clicking it once. Anyway, and I'm looking at this thing you sent me, Gamer Moline. Here, I'll put it on the screen. Talking about Arizona, where it says, Arizona has the highest rate of COVID-19 in the world. Latest data shows. What? This has got to be out of Arizona. And highest rate by what metric? For the second time during the pandemic, Arizona is leading the world with the highest 7-day average of COVID-19 infections. Interesting. I wonder what your testing rate is per the world compared to the rest of the world too. Also, good morning, Fight for Your Rights at Fox P2. According to 91Divic, whatever that is, a COVID-19 tracking site that uses data from Johns Hopkins. Oh, look what they did. Wait, what is this? What is this from? What is the website here? ABC 15. I don't know what cities that's out of. But notice this. This is a problem. This is editing at its finest. According to 91Divic, a COVID-19 tracking site that uses data from Johns Hopkins University. Did anybody else catch what I just said? Johns Hopkins. Hello, Arizona 15. It's Johns Hopkins University. Just an FYI. Arizona currently has the highest COVID-19. Oh, now that's interesting. The way they even put this sentence. Currently has the highest COVID-19 per capita rate of any region in the world. The state is reporting 120.8. How do you have 121.8 new COVID cases? Oh, per 100,000. Okay. California, the state with the second highest number of newly confirmed cases in the past 7 days per 100,000 people, comes in at 97.8%. Now that's fascinating. In the chat, Gamer Valine, if you have a moment, tell us what your lockdown situation is compared to California. Because how can the state with the total lockdown, like in California, and mask mandates, and you can't go anywhere, and they arrest you for, being places you're not supposed to be. I'm curious how California can have the second highest rate of new cases when they have some of the most stringent restrictions of any state. I just don't know how that works. But anyway, also, let's see. The site also tracks COVID-19 infections across the world using the same per capita metric as what is used by the U.S. Chechnya has the highest new COVID-19 infections of any sovereign state. Okay. So United States is showing a rate of 64.8. So the sixth highest of any country. Arizona has been in this position once before. The state posted, I don't care about new cases. I am a case. Here I am, the one that you love, streaming on another day. Okay? I am a case. But I'm still here. We'll see how long if I don't stop coughing. I'm more concerned about the death rate. Okay? For example, New Jersey still has the highest death rate in the country. New York still is number 2 in the country. You didn't see my article about the governor blamed for his adult son being unmasked at a restaurant. Oh no, I didn't see that. Anyway, good God. Yeah, okay, I don't care. I don't care. I want to get into what I intended today, Woke Wednesday. But yeah, that's nuts. You can have the highest rate of cases, but Cynical Lindsay and Blondie Bluntly are still alive. Well, good. You're all still alive. Thank you again, Gamer Valine, through Super Chat. It says you didn't see my article about the governor blamed for his adult son being unmasked at a restaurant. No, I didn't see that. Did you put that in Discord or did you put that? Oh, wait a minute. Now I see. It's a thread here. Oh my gosh. Arizona's governors urge residents to stay home. His adult son, oh, for fuck's sake. The son of Arizona Governor Doug Ducey posted maskless videos at an indoor dance party as his father resists calls for stricter measures. You know what? Good morning, Grisilla. COVID is out of control and the nurses dance. LOL. Yes, they keep dancing. Good Lord. And they're blaming the governor for his son posting something. Oh, these people. Thank you, Rodline. Who says the $2 super chat through Streamlabs, who says For what it's worth, my sister is an ER nurse just outside of Phoenix. She said it's been busy but never overwhelming. Yeah, so a lot of these news outlets also to make a big show of talking about that, hospital capacities are at 100% or they're almost at capacity, etc. I don't know the way they say it, because look, hospitals generally run at a 90 to 95% capacity. Okay, so you don't have to have a lot more people in a hospital to have it be closer to 100%. But also, when they talk about capacity, it's also based on staffing and how they staff a hospital. So if they, for example, have staffing for X number of cases and they're near that X number of cases, they could say that they're at capacity. Would you stop doing that, phone? What the hell? Oh my God, stop. Okay, hang on a second. Sorry, folks. For some reason, my phone I even have the do not disturb on. Sorry about that. Anyway, but means that it doesn't mean the hospitals don't have any more beds or can't. I mean, obviously, if they have more people in beds, they have to keep more staff on, longer hours and things like that. But I just don't know. Yeah, a lot of nurses are down because of school closings too. Yeah, a lot of people are parents, and it's hard for them to work. Kneel before Siri. I don't have Siri. I have that other, when you say okay, and then later, within a short, tiny fraction of a second, you say Google. Okay, it didn't do it. Anyway. All right. Okay, I got to get into the show today. It took me an hour to get into what the show's about because it's Woke Wednesdays, and this one was just hilarious. Let's just get into it. I'm not even going to transition from one to the other. So yesterday on a train, I suppose heading to Washington D.C. Ashley St. Clair. Now, Ashley St. Clair, I can't remember what news outlet she used to do, but she used to be with. But she's on Twitter. She has 403,000 followers. She's a journalist and whatnot. And she was on a train. And I saw a bunch of people talking about crazy train lady, which, in certain venues, you don't want to be the train lady, but this is a different kind of crazy train lady. This woman on the train seemed to get a little bit upset with some people, and I'll just play the video here because this is someone who seems very woke, and does it fit with Woke Wednesday? It kind of does, but anyway, she here's here's the crazy train lady. Okay. Now, and listen very carefully because right at the beginning of this, she says, I have 70,000 Twitter followers, and I'll get into that in a minute. But here's crazy train lady.
I have 70,000 Twitter followers.
You have 70,000 Twitter followers? Well, they're not... That means nothing. You're still being very rude. These men are just drinking coffee. They're allowed to have a mask off when they're drinking.
So what was happening is a couple guys were sitting on the train, and apparently they moved their masks so they could drink their coffee. And these two women accosted them. And apparently this lady right here with the red hair, she has a mask and a shield. She is definitely protecting herself. Decided to walk over to these men and bitch at them about not wearing masks. So I'm going to keep the video going here just a second.
We were drinking. No.
You know what's safer than a mask? Social distancing. That's more effective than the mask. So
that's Ashley St. Clair talking to them.
All
Yes, I am, because you're causing the seat on this train.
With his mask on.
Okay, so now the conductor.
Please, excuse me. Please, we're having an issue here.
Problem.
Go
to your seat. Okay,
He said
go to your seat.
They got on here and started.
Okay, would you like me to call the police?
Now the conductor has no time for these two women because apparently on the train, the Amtrak regulations say, yes, they want you to wear a mask unless you're drinking or eating. So these guys are following the rules. They just pull their masks up so they can drink their coffee. And crazy Karen here. Now I'll tell you who she is in a second. But crazy Karen lady decides to do that. She has a point. Well, but it's between her ears. So there you go. Anyway, here we go.
You bring police into this?
She said she's got 70.
Would you like me to call the police?
And the fact that she's filming and says, "Oh, I have 70,000 Twitter followers." Now, maybe if she would just mind her own business and say where she sit where she's supposed to be sitting. Okay, but anyway, we'll get into a second.
We have nothing. If you don't want any police, everybody needs to go back to their seat.
She said I got 70,000.
Just go back to your seat. If not, I will call the police and let the police handle it.
Okay, so that's the first thing. Now, the woman who did this, let me see if I can find her name here. Hang on a second. Oh, and then later, there's a second part of this. This is the second confrontation with Ashley St. Clair. So what happened is Ashley St. Clair took that video and she put it up on Twitter saying there's this crazy train lady. They were calling her crazy train lady. Now, the one lady was saying, "Oh, well, I have 70,000 Twitter followers and I'm going to put this online and then everyone's going to see you guys with no mask." Well, Ashley St. Clair takes the video and posts it on Twitter. She has 407,000 Twitter followers. And so this lady got a little upset with her. And here's the second half of Crazy Train Lady.
Ashley. Is that you? You fucking doxing bitch.
Oh, God, no. Things got kind of went up to 11, right? Went up to 11.
See, bitch.
Oh, you
doxed
Nazi
me.
bitch.
What'd you
I did
do
not
that for?
dox you.
Yes, you did, sweetheart.
No, I didn't. I posted a video of you.
And now it's interesting. She still has her mask, but what happened to her shield? I'm curious, but Ashley's wearing a mask during this.
I posted a video of you on a public train.
On Instagram.
I don't even know who you are.
Well, everybody knows now, all your little Nazi friends, your little conservative MAGA friends.
This is not a good look,
lowlife.
honey.
You are a lowlife.
For posting a... Can someone get the conductor? Or I will.
Why?
Because
you
you're
posted a
harassing
video
me.
of me?
Yes,
You're
we're on
harassing
a-
me. You
I
put
didn't-
me up on the internet.
Okay.
She put the video of me. 5,000.
Now listen to this exchange too, because it's almost a good thing. It's a good thing there's a video of this, because I got a feeling that had there not been a video of this part with this exchange with this guy, this crazy train lady, I'm sure would have accused him of something that he did not do. Listen carefully.
Get away from me. Get the fuck away from me.
Don't ever talk to me like
Get the fuck away from me.
Don't swear at me.
Get the fuck away from me.
Don't swear at me.
Get away from me.
You want to keep going?
Stephanie!
Listen carefully.
He's about to punch me. Okay.
Jeez, you hear that? She said, "I think he's about to punch me." No.
He's not even near you.
Look out.
He's not even near
You're
you.
blocking my way.
All I'm saying is don't
You're
swear at me.
blocking my way.
Don't sit
Get
down.
the fuck away from me. Get the fuck away. MAGA asshole. Come on.
Okay, so she anyway, she's the one who comes at them. Anyway, so as we find out later, this woman, let's see if I can find her name here. Here she is. Here's her. Now, Ashley St. Clair didn't put her name out there, but apparently she decided to tweet about it, and her name is Sandy Bauckham. Credentialed Press documentary journalist, filmmaker, contributor to Getty. Now this. Also, she's a contributor to the Huffington Post. Anyway, so hey, if you're on a train, be careful. Don't drink coffee. Here's my issue. So I was thinking about this, and the reason this is funny. This got a lot of play on the internet. Lots of people talking about it. And I wish I could find her. Let's see here. 2 women freak out over passion to pull down their masks to drink coffee. Sandy Deer here also posted about this. I can see if I can find it real quick. I had it, but I accidentally, did I leave it in my bookmarks? No, I didn't. Oh well. But obviously, the way Sandy posted about it was very different than how Ashley St. Clair posted about it. Here we go. Now her tweets are protected. Damn it! I wish I would have archived them. Anyway, her story was, these MAGA assholes are on this train not wearing masks, and then some other bitch comes up to me and says, she had a mask, but we could tell she was a Nazi because her mask said, Trump won and yada yada yada. Anyway, so welcome to Woke World. Moving on, let's actually do a couple articles here. Now, this is interesting. I'm sure many of you are familiar with Mr. Bean. Mr. Bean is a lovable character. Rowan Atkinson has his lovable character, Mr. Bean. Now, most of the time, I don't really give a shit what celebrities say, but it was interesting to see when it's always fascinating when someone in that world says something that I agree with. And it's because it doesn't happen that often. Well, Rowan Atkinson is talking about cancel culture, saying it's like a medieval mob looking for someone to burn. British comedian and actor Rowan Atkinson, famous for his goofy and awkward character Mr. Bean, criticized cancel culture, saying it's like a digital medieval mob looking for someone to burn. Cancel culture for the not woke crowd is a phenomenon that occurs when politically correct activists discover that someone famous or talented is not sufficiently politically correct, and thus they attack, doing all they can to ruin that person's reputation, career, or means of make a living. For example, author J.K. Rowling was mobbed by cancel culture when she questioned whether transgender people should undergo sex change surgery, and how does transgender affect the definition and lives of biological women. And so in this interview, Atkinson said, the problem we have online is that an algorithm decides what we see, which ends up creating a simplistic binary view of society. It becomes a case either you're with us or against us, said Atkinson. And if you're against us, you deserve to be canceled. He continued, it's important that we are exposed to a wide spectrum of opinion. But what we have now is the digital equivalent of medieval mob roaming the streets looking for someone to burn. So it's scary for anyone who's a victim of that mob, and it fills me with fear about the future. And I would guess that, people even looking back at Atkinson's films and skits on the comedy shows and shit, probably could be accused of making fun of a certain type of person, and he could be canceled. So interesting just that he said that. So. But like I said, sometimes it's refreshing to hear celebrities go against the grain a little bit too. So that's that. This one's interesting. Tulsi Gabbard is again having a slight, I don't say feud, but a spat with fellow Democrats. Apparently, and she's being accused of being transphobic because of this. Tulsi Gabbard slams fellow Democrats for hypocrisy for claiming to be champions of women while denying that women exist. Former Hawaii Congresswoman and former Hawaii Congresswoman, did she not go back to Congress? Oh, that's right. She ran for president. She did not run again. Anyway, and Democratic presidential nominee Tulsi Gabbard torched House Democrats on Fox News Monday for prioritizing rule changes to eliminate gender references from the lower chamber, while branding themselves the party of women's. Yes, I said that. They didn't write it that way. She says it's the height of hypocrisy for people to claim to be the champion of rights for women to deny the very biological existence of women, said Gabbard, who retired from the lower chamber this year after deciding not to run for re-election. Removing references to, mothers and fathers, brothers, sisters, sons, and daughters from the congressional rules and administration. It's mind-blowing because it shows just how out of touch with reality and the struggles of everyday Americans, people in Congress are. I just have to give her a bell for that one. Hell yeah, they're crazy. So wait, let's see. How long is this segment? Maybe...
So how does it empower women to ban the acknowledgement that women exist?
It absolutely does the very opposite of that. And it's the height of hypocrisy for people who claim to be the champions of rights for women to deny the very biological existence of women. And this recent rule change that the House just actually voted and passed on today that you were talking about, removing references to, mothers and fathers, brothers and sisters, sons and daughters from congressional rules and administration, it's mind-blowing because it shows just how out of touch with reality and the struggles of everyday Americans people in Congress are, but also it shows that, their first act as this new Congress could have been to make sure that elderly Americans are able to get the COVID vaccine now alongside.
Okay, now I got to stop this right here. And Grizz, I haven't seen it yet. I'm answering you. I haven't seen it yet, but it should show up. Sometimes you have to click a second window to make that happen. I'm going to stop her right there. I hate when people in Congress or whatever start saying, well, they did this, but they could have been doing something about COVID. Look, bad argument. People should be able to walk and chew gum and listen to their headphones and toss and catch a ball at the same time. Okay? They should be able to do multiple things. So I understand. I understand where she's saying, oh, this should not be the priority when they should be doing something about COVID. No, they should be doing something about COVID anyway. What they did over here is just stupid. But anyway, I'll let it keep going here.
Frontline healthcare workers, elderly Americans who have the highest mortality rates from this virus. But instead of doing something that could actually help save people's lives, they're choosing instead to say, well, you can't say mother or father in any of this congressional language. It's astounding.
Yeah, it's stupid. And I'm not going to continue on that. But the other part of that, too. So now in Congress, since you can't say mother, father, son, daughter, whatever, are they going to stop talking about how they can help single mothers since, are they just going to say single parents? Is that what they're going to do now? No more help for single mothers. Anyway, the House passed the Democratic rule package Monday, striking gender references in an alleged effort to be inclusive to all members. The first act of this new Congress could have been to make sure the elderly covered out. I don't even know what they were thinking. But this was funny. I know I showed this yesterday. This is still hilarious to me, and I just got to play it again.
We ask it in the name of the monotheistic God, Brahma, and God known by many names, by many different faiths. A man and a woman.
Oh,
we ask it.
So brave, so woke, so fucking stupid. Oh my God. Anyway, this is gender inclusivity jumps the shark. Democratic Representative Emmanuel Cleaver, who is also a pastor at St. James United Methodist Church of Kansas City, Missouri, delivered the opening prayer for the 117th Congress last Sunday after invoking the God known by many names and faith. He closed the prayer, of course, with Amen. Then, in a moment of shark jumping absurdity, he added, and a woman apparently ascribing the word amen and attempting to be inclusive of the female sex. As a pastor with a master's of divinity degree, no less, surely Cleaver cannot be unaware that amen comes from the Hebrew filtered through Greek and Latin and means truly, or so be it. Oh, well, thank you, Grizz. Oh, my goodness. With a Jackson. Grizz drops a Jackson. Thank you so much, Grizella. Who says, glad to see you live. I'm usually working when you stream. Keep up the awesome work. Well, that is so very kind, very generous of you. And by the way, Grizz,
You are the new Streamlabs Superstar Donor of the Day.
thank you so much. I greatly appreciate that. Did I fix that? There we go. All right. So, thank you so much, Grizz. I appreciate it. What's funny about this, Cleaver himself unashamedly shared a video of the prayer on social media and was swiftly and justifiably roasted on Twitter. Bruh, you don't know what amen means, right? Wrote one commenter. Another respondent tweeted, amen and a woman? Is there a stupidity contest this year in government? I mean, I compare this with Representative Harold Johnson a couple years ago when he was talking to some general about Guam and saying, you know what, he was worried because if I just want to know, General, if we get too many people, too many troops on our base there on one side of the island, is it possible that the island could capsize? And the general just sat there looking at him like, and just very quietly said, sir, I don't think there's any possibility of that happening. Well, I'm just wondering if the island could capsize. Anyway, this is some stupidity. To that, someone replied, Cleaver is off to the early lead, at least for 2021. He is. I don't know how you're going to top that one in 2021, but I guarantee you somebody will. Newt Gingrich tweeted, perfect House Democrat prayer ending as House Dems focus on gender security by abolishing virtually every form of gender term like father and mother. Okay, so what he was referring to was the new House rules package for the 117th Congress, approved 217 to 206 vote on Monday, which, quote, includes sweeping ethics reforms, increases accountability for the American people, and makes this House of Representatives the most conclusive of makes this House Representative the most inclusive in history, according to a statement from the committee. The package includes the establishment of a select committee on economic disparity and fairness in growth. Oh, they're going to tackle the wage gap. Yay! And which will require Congress to honor all gender identities by changing pronouns and familiar relationships in the House rules to be gender neutral. That is stupid. That doesn't even fit. Oh my God. That doesn't even fit how the gender identity Nazis, I not to say that word, the gender identity authoritarians who demand you use their preferred pronouns. So how are you going to make everything neutral but then not use people's preferred pronouns? I don't know. Good morning, Reason Vision. Nice to see you, but you have a new name, Mass Creation Broadcast. So nice to see you. Okay, so, oh my God. Ergo, in Clause 8C3, Rule of 23, perfectly normal terms which describe those familial relationships, such as father, mother, son, daughter, brother, sister, uncle, aunt, first cousin, nephew, niece, husband, wife, father-in-law, mother-in-law, son-in-law, daughter-in-law, brother-in-law, sister-in-law, stepfather, stepmother, stepson, stepdaughter, stepbrother, stepsister, half-brother, half-sister, grandson, or granddaughter must be eliminated because they are gendered and will offend the bullying transgender lobby. Really? I thought if you're a transgender, I thought trans women are women. So you would call them auntie or call their brother. What the hell are they talking about? Good Lord. Instead of those perfectly normal terms will be replaced by awkward and imprecise but non-triggering labels such as parent, child, sibling, parent-sibling, first cousin, sibling's child, spouse, parent-in-law, child-in-law, sibling-in-law, step-parent, step-child, step-sibling, half-sibling, or grandchild. You know, Nancy Pelosi's Twitter bio still says shit that she's a mother and a grandmother. Just FYI. Republican lawmakers rightly condemn the new language restrictions. I'm a proud husband, proud father, and son and a daughter of a son and a daughter. You can't be a son and a daughter. Well, I suppose if you're, what do they call this? The ones who can change back and forth at any given time? I can't remember. They don't even want you to be able to say that anymore, said GOP Whip Steve Scalise. The Democrats' rule package takes out words like mother and father, brother and sister in their quest not to offend anyone, said Rep. Debbie Lesko. They're offending almost all of America. Yeah. Thank you, Debbie Lesko. Show me where it says in writing that we're canceling Mother's Day or that you can't refer to yourself as a husband or father or mother or grandmother, dared Rules Committee Chairman James McGovern, irked by the criticism. Well, his committee's own rules specify in writing that, at least in Congress, you can't refer to yourself or anyone else that way. As for canceling Mother's Day, the anti-family left has been itching to eliminate Mother's Day and Father's Day for many years. Maybe congressional Democrats will get around to prioritizing that in the next rules package because, you know, that's very important. Hello, Ryan himself. Shapeshifters? Yeah, something like that. I don't know. I don't know what the name for that is. They have a name for every possible scenario, though. By the House's own measure, perhaps Representative Cleaver should be censured for his exclusionary "a men and a woman," which did not honor all gender identities. That goes for Speaker Nancy Pelosi as well, for hypocritically continuing to identify as mother, grandmother in her official Twitter biography. Apparently, it's difficult for the left to keep up with its own ever-shifting terminology of inclusivity. The rest of this article will be in there, but it very appropriately lambasts this stupid new House rule. Anyway, moving on. San Francisco, Soros-backed socialist DA Chesa Boudin under fire after a parolee he decarcerated, and decarcerated, I've never heard that word before, kills two on New Year's Eve. Oh, yep, that's what you get for being a woke DA. A 45-year-old parolee named Troy McAllister should have been in prison on New Year's Eve, but instead of facing the 3 strikes life prison term he had earned through his criminal acts, he was set free by San Francisco DA Chesa Boudin. Since his April 2020 release, McAllister was arrested multiple times and released each time, not even parole violation charges pursued. McAllister, whose long rap sheet includes robbery and carjacking, was reportedly in a stolen car and under the influence of drugs and alcohol when he ran a red light and plowed into 2 pedestrians, both of whom died. McAllister fled the scene. The NBC Bay Area reports the 45-year-old parolee held for the New Year's Eve hit and run deaths of 2 pedestrians had been facing a 3-strike life prison term until he was freed last year under San Francisco District Attorney Chesa Boudin. Documents obtained by NBC Bay Area's investigation unit show Troy McAllister is now charged with felony vehicular manslaughter in the deaths of Elizabeth Pratt, 60, and Hanaka Abe, 27, who were both struck when McAllister ran a red light in a stolen vehicle on the afternoon of December 31st, according to prosecutors. Until April of last year, McAllister was being held in jail awaiting trial for a 2015 robbery charge. What? He was held in jail awaiting trial from 2015 until 2019? Okay, there's a problem with that. That is a problem because let me not that I care about this. First of all, I'm not a fan of the 3 strikes laws either. Just have an appropriate charge. But the guy that was waiting trial for a 2015 robbery charge until last year, isn't that there's something? What's that? The amendment about speedy trial. that just seems weird to me. Anyway, prosecutors were pursuing the case under the state's 3 strikes law. If McAllister had been convicted, he could have faced a life sentence. McAllister was eligible for life based on his previous convictions for robbery and carjacking. But Boudin issued out a policy in February not to pursue 3 strikes cases, prompting a deal that granted McAllister credit for the 5 years he'd served in custody. He was freed from jail last April. After he was released, McAllister was arrested several times, but no criminal charges were filed, so no parole violation proceedings were brought, court and police records show. The arrest occurred as late as December 20th, when he was arrested for suspicion of driving a stolen vehicle in San Francisco and possessing burglary tools. According to the police documents, he was arrested in the months before at San Francisco State University for auto burglary and a parole violation. In August, he was arrested in San Francisco for drug and theft related charges, and in June, he was arrested for a residential burglary. Now, this is the case. If they don't have records of how many times he's being arrested and with all these different cases and still not being charged, that's a problem in the DA, and that's the DA's office. And that's what I'm talking about when they keep, they have all these, I know I'm not supposed to say the guy from, Eastern Bloc country who has billions of dollars and has heavy influence over, particularly blue state politics in the United States. That guy, you know his name. Anyway, all those district attorneys and state's attorneys that he's getting elected in all these states who are prone to drop charges on people like this who repeat offend over and over and over. That's the danger of having these people in office. Court documents show that Boudin had appeared on behalf of McAllister in 2018 while he was deputy public defender, triggering concerns about possible conflict of interest now that he's district attorney. There is an okay, let's see. That's just the Twitter chat about it. Legal insurrection. Readers may recall Boudin from our post. San Francisco's socialist son of imprisoned weather underground terrorist who was raised by Bill Ayers, worked for Hugo Chavez, elected DA. Yeah, this is the guy. That's right. His so this guy who has the law degree and became the district attorney, his father was a weather underground terrorist who is in jail. Or he might have died in one of their bombings. And then he was raised by Bill Ayers and Elizabeth Dorn, if you know who those two are. God. As we noted, Boudin's decarceration and anti-police agenda earned the ire of the San Francisco Police Officers Association, who referred to Boudin as the number one choice of criminals and gang members. Boudin claims to be a part of a growing movement that's bringing a new vision to the district attorney's office. And he's right. It's also a smart approach by the social justice, reformative justice, and decarceral justice radicals who seek to undermine and replace Americans' concept of equal justice under the law. Because they just they pick and choose what they're going to prosecute. Just like, like Mike Schmidt in Portland letting all the Antifa people out. Although, the mayor of Portland, I think, is a bit fed up, and he's going to have a little chat with Mike Schmidt about that. Anyway, there's a whole lot more in that story, but you guys can read that in the tabs because I got to be done here in a second. And then we already talked about this. The deputy district attorneys in Los Angeles County sue LA's top prosecutor over radical new rules. And he's doing the same thing with the 3 strikes rules. Ban on 3 strikes charges, ban on enhancements, break state laws, according to these deputies. We'll let that one go. You can read that one. You might have seen this one already. I've read about this before. Just how the union representing Los Angeles deputy district attorneys is suing their boss, progressive prosecutor George Gascon, seeking to overturn orders that would constrain the charging of serious offenders in a way that violates state law. So he's has his own memo in department saying that they're not going to prosecute a lot of these things that are supposed to be prosecuted under state law, but it's very similar. Another one of the guy from East, the collaborator guy that I don't want to say his name because that's just one of those instant things. You say the name that shall not be said. And you could also be accused of anti-Semitism when you say his name too. So I don't want to do that. So anyway, you know who I'm talking about. I know you know. Let's see, what was this one? Oh, there's also Daily Wire is venturing out, and they're going to start producing or supporting films. And what's the word here? I'll just let's see. So anyway, they're going to start. What's the word? I think producing films, being the producer, being the executive producer. Supporting different films that may have come out independently, and then they're going to go in and get distribution rights and try to do some films. It's just another thing. They're trying to get a little bit into the not the culture war, but become a part of the culture, because that's one of the places where conservatives really, really have a problem right now, that we can't get into any mainstream entertainment and culture. There's obviously there's a actor here and there who talk about being conservative, but not George Foreman, but you're close, right? Himself. I think Uncle Bobbity is closer. Anyway, so they're trying to get into some of the culture aspect, because that's one place where we lack. Hollywood is all liberal, and then so they're trying to branch out into those areas. So reaction to Daily Wire's Hollywood debut speaks volumes. Liberals savage the site as expected, but the conservative response is startling, as in non-existent. So Deadline.com leans reliably to the left, but the news outlet played it straight this week for a big announcement. The site revealed the Daily Wire's first feature film will be Run, Hide, Fight, a Die Hard-style thriller set during a school shooting. Daily Wire has picked up North American rights to the Venice title about a 17-year-old who must fight for her life and those of her schoolmates against a group of live streaming terrorists. Isabel May, Thomas Jane, and Rhoda Mitchell star in the film, for whose first full trailer can now reveal. And the trailer is going to be on here. I won't play it right now because I want to get through this. The Daily Wire announced over the weekend it plans to start producing original films and TV shows for a right-of-center audience, which, you know what? There's a huge market for it if somebody can make quality films and TV. I mean, think of Last Man Standing. That's a show that definitely has a right-leaning feel to it, and it's comedy. It's a great show. It's a very popular show. It got canceled at one point, but then another network picked it up, and it's now in its final season. But there is definitely a market for that. I think people at the Daily Wire recognize that. Anyway, other films followed up on the news. Or other film sites followed up in the news, mostly using it to smite Daily Wire and conservatives in general. The very worst example comes from firstshowing.net. Quote, "This is not a film we support, especially because people releasing it are so deranged. But a trailer is out for anyone to watch anyway. Worst of all, it's being distributed by a hardcore right-wing propaganda organization." Fair and balanced, not even remotely unhinged. Next came punchdrunkcritics.com, another site offering a sober analysis of the transaction. Quote, "The Daily Wire, the right-wing news source co-created by the ridiculous grievance peddler Ben Shapiro, is getting into the film and TV distribution game. Run, Hide, Fight is their big opening salvo, but they have at least 2 series projects and a feature on the way. Run, Hide, Fight is ultimately a movie about courage in the face of evil. This is a gut-wrenching film that does not offer easy talking points, which is why liberal Hollywood executives have refused to distribute it." Oh, shut the fuck up, dude. The playlist covered the announcement with a slightly less rage, The Daily Wire is co-founded by Ben Shapiro, someone that is well known for his conservative hot takes and ludicrous offensive rants, and the site has always been known as a hotbed for ultra-conservative viewpoints and right-wing extremism. I'm sorry, the Daily Wire? Ultra-conservative? Right-wing extremism? They're not even out that far. I'm sorry. Talk about propaganda. Anyway, the big surprise came from courtesy of Awards Daily. The site leaves out the invectives and covers why the Daily Wire acquisition matters. We all knew that there are movies that don't get picked up by Hollywood distributors because they are deemed problematic. We know that films that glorify our utopian vision for our lives tend to do better in this climate, but unfortunately the best art can't do that and remain provocative. Art must push and poke and prod at humanity, otherwise, what is the point? Daily Wire is getting into the production, development, distribution game, which means a broader offerings overall for people who don't necessarily always want to be sold a singular view of what life should look like, which is where so much of films, especially those in the Oscar race, find themselves. Well, that sounds pretty reasonable. Oh, what more? There's more. What I hope doesn't happen is that actors and artists involved in these films are chased and harassed online so that it damages their careers to get work. I'm pretty sure that is what will happen to some extent, but I'm holding out hope that it won't. Competition is healthy in all things, especially art. Damn, they were pretty good there. I gotta tell you. That's pretty good for these, for the wackos. Anyway, thank you, Ryan himself, with the 5 spot on Super Chat, who says, imagine abusing an entire population and then calling anybody who has anything to say about it a grievance peddler. Right? Right? Anyway, what do all these sites have in common? They actually covered the announcement. Guess who didn't? Townhall.com, The Daily Caller, Breitbart News, Red State, The Blaze. The conservative sites ignored both the Daily Wire's initial announcement as well as the news of its official feature. For all the caterwauling conservatives do regarding Hollywood's leftward lurch, you'd think they would cover, if not overtly cheer on, the Daily Wire's project. So anyway, chicksontheright.com did give the news. But anyway, hopefully some of the other conservative sites will know this. Kudos to the Daily Wire for doing that. Not always an easy thing to do. And so that's that. Anyway, thank you so much again, everybody. I just realized I'm completely out of time here. Oops, let's do that. There we go. There we are. Thank you for joining me today on the Morning Night Live. If you like what we do here, please, please, please hit the thumbs up down below on the down here somewhere, and or hit the share arrow and share it out if you haven't done so already. We're here Monday through Friday, 10 o'clock Eastern, 9 o'clock Central, and I'm not really sure what time GMT, because that daylight savings time always messes me up. I could tell you when it's not daylight savings time, but it messes me up. I know it's only an hour difference, but I never know to go 1 hour higher or 1 hour lower. I don't know. But if you know what your time is compared to our 9 o'clock Eastern, or 10 o'clock Eastern, 9 o'clock Central, I know it's 6 o'clock Pacific time, which is really early for some people, but it is what it is. Anyway, 10, 9, 8, no, 7 o'clock Central. Oh my God. Scribe will tell you the next time he's in the chat. I'll just tell you. So anyway, yeah, no, that was a warning to the left. Yeah, the left is the one who it puts in jeopardy or actors from the left, not from the right. If, they're in Daily Wire Productions, is it going to make them blackballed? I know that's is it going to make them blackballed from just any other productions? Now, if the Daily Wire comes out and does some really high quality films, maybe the quality will overcome their knee-jerk reaction to treat this as some crazy right-wing production. But anyway, I have to digress. I must because I must leave. Anyway, y'all, thank you so much for being here today. I hope to see you tomorrow and the next day. And the next day after that would be Saturday, which I'm not here, but the next time. So Monday through Friday, 10 o'clock Eastern, 9 o'clock Central. I'm trying not to cough. Let me take another sip. And I'm going to say goodbye, guys. Thanks again. My name is PDawgKnight. And I'm out of here. Bye-bye. Hey, this is PDawgKnight, and thank you for watching today on the PDawgKnight channel. If you have an observation or remark you'd like to make about this video or my channel, I absolutely welcome you to write it in the comments section down below. I really look forward to hearing from you. And before you go, if you like what you saw but you're not already subscribed, please make sure you hit the subscribe button and definitely click that bell that pops up afterward so you'll be notified when I post new videos or when we go live. I broadcast my live show, The Morning Night Live, Monday through Friday at 10 a.m. Eastern, 9 o'clock Central. A special thank you to all supporters of this channel who share our videos on social media and who make donations through the Streamlabs link, which is also in the description down below. Thanks again, and until next time, I'm PDawgKnight, and I'm out of here.